But anyway, yeah, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse came out last week. Yeah, last week. And we saw it last week. And I liked it. And Jacob?
It's okay.
Jay thought it was okay. So let's see. Where to begin? So this movie, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, picks up not immediately after. It's like a year or so after Into the Spider-Verse, even though in real life it's been 5 whole years. I don't want to spoil the story, but Miles does another Spider-Verse-y thing. The movie, right now I'm going to get some good stuff out of the way immediately before Jacob tears it apart.
I'm not going to, well, I mean, I can't.
We can't tear it apart in depth. Maybe in the last 10 minutes we could say some things. I don't know. I'll make sure to tell you. No, we'll see. Maybe we should wait for a spoiler thing. I don't know. It depends on how we feel. But the animation, that is next level. The animation is next level. I don't know. I mean, I can't think of anything that's like it, really. Literally. Especially after Into the Spider-Verse, you do have all these other movies and franchises picking up that style or a similar style. Like Puss in Boots had it, and Puss in Boots is gorgeous. Gorgeous movie. I love that movie. Very pretty. There was Puss in Boots. The new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is coming out. That has that similar style. The Mitchells vs. Machines. That was but also done by the Phil Lord and Chris Miller, by that same team that does Spider-Verse movies. And that was also with Sony. And that was released on Netflix somewhere in the pandemic. And I only watched half of it. I wanted to finish it. I just never did. But it was pretty great. Really well reviewed. But what I love about Across the Spider-Verse is it did not just sit there and be like, all right, we're going to give you the same level of animation again. Like, the bits that look like, for instance, in Miles' dimension, all that stuff, it still looks like the shape of the characters and the world looks the same, except just a little bit better, a little bit shinier, a little bit more smooth. And also Miles himself, because he's more experienced Spider-Man, looks more smooth, moves more smooth. He knows what he's doing. I want to actually play a little bit of a clip from the movie, because it just showcases Spider-Man, Miles, how he Spider-Mans, and it's cool.
Why do people say ATM machine?
Who said that?
The M stands for machine.
Spider.
Okay, he didn't show
You had literally one line. I knew it. As soon as you said, I said, like, it's going to be...
Well, they don't have that whole
I
fight.
I said it's going to be a minute before he shows up. You said it's a minute and 30-second clip, and I thought to myself, then is he in the clip? Because I remember the scene well. It was going to be a full, like, minute and a half before he showed up. So yeah, I could have told you, he's not in the clip then, Justice.
Well, whatever. Another cool part of the movie is that was in that clip was the Spot, played by Jason Schwartzman, and he's a cool character because he looks cool. He has a bunch of spots on his body that make different holes in places.
Shut up about him.
That's not spoilers. That's all I was going to say.
This is in the trailer. Trailers are spoilers.
Jacob, shut up. Shut up, Jacob. So yeah, I love the movie. And the more I think about it, the more I do love it. I still don't think it's as good as Into the Spider-Verse. The story, and I agree with you, is a little more loose compared to whereas Into the Spider-Verse is just a tight.
Yes, it is perfection in structure and delivery.
Yeah. It's a perfect package, Into the Spider-Verse. Across the Spider-Verse, is it the perfect package? No. But golly.
So, I suppose, okay, so in terms of story, I feel like there's some big missteps. But obviously, in terms of visuals, it is everything and more compared to the first. They did not in any way, skim out on the visual storytelling and the creativity and unique aspects of animation.
You need to see. I think you should see it in the theater because it's like I almost feel like it's almost like an Avatar level spectacle and how crazy the animation is. Really is. It's next level. All right, go ahead.
I was gonna say that I feel like the music isn't there because
I think the music's
whereas
great.
with Into the Spider-Verse, I can think of every time I can think about several tracks that come in and they really deliver on what the story's doing at the time. When in the we can spoil the first movie, I assume.
Yes.
Yeah, Into the Spider-Verse. At the beginning, after Miles' Peter Parker died, you had that song come in that was really soft and slow and emotional, and I can remember that vividly. And then obviously him like coming to himself at the very beginning in his room, that song I can remember vividly. And when he becomes Spider-Man, gets his own suit, colors it up,
What's
and
up,
that
Danger?
that I remember vividly. The track that's going in the background during the final fight, I can remember vividly. Whereas with Across the Spider-Verse, the only music I remember vividly was the end credits song. There's no moment in this movie where the music comes in and I'm like, man, that moment when the music came in, like I don't feel like it does that.
They're not putting the music in the forefront as much as they did in the first movie. But I do think, like, if you're watching the scene and you like take the time to listen to the music in the background, it plays extremely well with the scene. Even though, like you said, like as soon as I get out of Into the Spider-Verse, I can just look up "What's Up, Danger," and I'll just know what the song is, and I'll get that song. I can't do that with any of the movies in Across the Spider-Verse but also like I said, I don't think it was put to the forefront as much as it was in the first movie. But I still think it is really good. Also, I do want to mention that, how movies in general, or especially superhero movies, when the movie ends, they have like a little mid-credit like montage of visuals to make you stick around for a post-credit scene. For one, no post-credit. I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now. No post-credit scene in Across the Spider-Verse, and also it ends in a cliffhanger. And I guess that's not a spoiler to some people. It's a Part 1 movie. This is a Part 1 movie. I'm just saying it clear, so I don't have to hear about it. But, yes. That being said, so I want to talk about the little... Because in the first movie, they go nuts in that little section where they play like that, I want to elevate, da, 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 and it's like a bunch of Spider-Man rap songs, and also like all these crazy visuals of like Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Gwen and like copying and stuff. This one, it felt kind of like almost like a James Bond intro in some ways. It kind of made me feel like Skyfall, but instead it's like Miles. And I'm spoiling this because you really have to see it. 'Cause it's more visual of the thing, but it's like Miles like running through like white space and it looks like paintbrush. It looks like painted, and it's moving, and it's awesome. It's so cool, and really again, I can't. This is the thing. Like, yeah, I get the story isn't as strong as Into the Spider-Verse, and in that way, I am a little disappointed. I am a little disappointed that it doesn't wrap itself up all the way, and really, it really does take about 2/3 of the movie to where you actually even get any idea of what the plot really is and what the stakes are and what they're supposed to be doing. And then at that point, it's like, okay, now he's gotta go do this, and
then it ends.
Yeah.
And I think even then, I do not think that there's a point in this movie where it is genuinely clear what the antagonist person or force is. Like, at no point in this movie is it like, oh, so this is a story about Miles against blank, because the movie does not decide what he's up against, like one sole figure that he's up against. It doesn't make that decision. And so, yeah, so even as the movie ends and we go into the second, it's like I don't know what Miles is up against.
Right.
I don't know what conflict is the point of the movie, because he's up against like 3 different things. And I said that those 3 conflicts don't make 100% sense together, because some of them are contradictory of each other, where it's like, well, if I'm up against this, why am I also up against that? Mm-hmm. That should be with me against this. And so it's like, it's muddy, and it's not focused.
But I also don't care that much. I'm sorry. Some things I do care, but I don't know. At a certain point, I feel like I've said this before also. In my mind, one of three things has to be way better than the other things, like, or for it to count as good, I guess. Anyway, I don't know. Like, what was it? Like, style, story, and character. Those are three very important aspects. Yeah, story is sagging, but style and character, I think, are blown out so much that I don't care that the story is sagging a little bit. That's how I look at it.
I feel like Miles' character, like, there's nowhere else is doing Miles Morales better than these movies.
Exactly.
I feel like the voice actor,
he's so good.
Yeah, his personality.
Shameik Moore is his name.
His personality just explodes and shows right on to you. You could see you see him. Mm-hmm. You see this character, and so yeah, any scene with Miles in it. Miles is great. He's a great character to follow. And I love he's a great lead.
They're solidifying Miles as and not just this movie, the games too, as a character, as an accepted. I heard somebody on a podcast talking about like Miles Morales being like the Wally West of Wally West Flash. People love just as much as Barry Allen Flash, but it's that to like the next level. Like, first of all, nobody gives a flip about the Flash that much, but a lot of people give a flip about Spider-Man, and there are a lot more people accept Miles as like the next Spider-Man more than almost any other Spider-Man variant. Like, how many dozens and dozens of different Spider-Man storylines have we had, and different pretenders to the throne in a way, like a Ben Reilly or even Spider-Man 2099. Like, those books might do well, but they aren't doing like, main level Spider-Man.
Miles is not a one-off. He's not an attempt. He's not like he's not a writer trying a new Spider-Man. They hit the ground running and said, "No, we're just doing it. He is Spider-Man." Mm-hmm. Boom, done. And he's not bogged down with a bunch of dumb people being like, "Oh, you just wanted to throw in a black Spider-Man." Like, none of that ever bogged him down. It was just like, nope, boom, he's Spider-Man. He's his own character immediately. Miles Morales he was a hit the ground running, just stand on his own man.
And I also think that's a lot of credit to Brian Michael Bendis and just creative team behind that being like, nope, we're doing this. They did it, and they just kept going. Like, they made sure that Miles' roots were planted, so much so that isn't he like the only character that comes over from the Ultimate Universe into mainline continuity?
Pretty much.
It was just like, and recently, the news story that I skipped over earlier, they're bringing back the Ultimate Comics, and I would not be surprised if that was due to Miles Morales and how this movie did, because
I want my universe back.
Yeah, I want my
universe back, please.
Bring me back my world. And he goes and just webs it from the sky, like. Argh. But yeah, and
I feel like no other character is as good as Miles in the Across the Spider-Verse.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess, but I like Gwen. I like Gwen, and I like their dynamics.
I suppose it's not a spoiler to say that Spider-Man 2099 is in it, because he was in the trailers, and he's in the first movie at the very end. Miguel O'Hara, I feel like personality definitely came across, but he doesn't have a lot to do in the movie.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a lot to say either. I feel like with what he has, it was like, all right, cool. But then aside from that, okay, Gwen would be your other main character. And I never cared about what Gwen had going on.
I did.
I know you did. I know a lot of people do. Most people agree that the movie is amazing. Like, I'm the only person who's like whatever.
You're mid on it.
Yes, I'm the only one. Everybody else agrees that the movie was amazing. Wars have ended as opposing sides have agreed the movie was good. Putin and Zelensky are agreeing that Across the Spider-Verse is a good movie.
They probably do.
Yeah, and so I'm the only. I'm mid because of the story. So out of there. I didn't care about anything Gwen had going on.
I did. I mean, and also I thought it was a cool. She was like whip. I don't know. Never mind. I was going to spoil it.
No.
I was just going to spoil it. I'm not going to say anything.
But there's a lot of people's relationship with their parents going on in the movie, and genuinely I just don't care about that kind of thing too much.
I do like that, because you also got to remember, like, because with Peter, he has a frail aunt who probably doesn't know how to use a phone. So, Peter's going to be late, Aunt May, You gotta deal with it. While Miles, he has two parents who are, I mean, they're not that old. You know, you're not scared they're gonna die every second all the time. They're wondering, where are you? Where are you? What are you doing in this time? They're teenagers. They're kids. So I do think, I like that aspect of it. I like being reminded, these are kid superheroes doing things that they should not be doing. But they're still doing it because they're cool.
I think that Gwen's conflict with her father, I won't go into detail, but I think it's a tired writing thing of the conflict is a lack of communication, and there isn't a good reason that these two characters can't communicate with each other. And that's why it's like I don't even want to humor it. I don't like that. If a conflict is just two characters won't share relevant information with each other, there has to be a great reason why they won't do that. And I don't have it here. So it's
I have some in my mind, but again, we can't get into it. But I still disagree. That's all I can say. But yeah. I also liked, I think I can say this, Indian Spider-Man? Yeah, I think he's just called Indian Spider-Man. I like that guy. I like that visual.
That's brief, and it's
cool.
I mean, it's kind of funny. Cool. Okay, visually he is cool, yes. Visually he's cool.
Super cool. He has like a yo-yo.
Okay, so you say that, yeah, Spider-Punk.
Spider-Punk?
It's
yes.
funny to say that how he's written should be so bad. People would probably hate him. I love him. And I feel like it's unfortunate that I love him. I shouldn't.
Well, I was more low on Spider-Punk walking out. I think I could say we've seen it twice. It doesn't matter how, we saw it twice. Spider-Punk on paper, like at first glance, and probably literally at first glance, seems like annoying, like the annoying guy. Like, oh yeah, we get it. You're too cool for all of this.
Yes.
But he does have very small and very subtle. I feel like they're pretty subtle moments of like,
is he awesome?
Yeah.
Is he cool? Oh no! I just imagine the name Spider-Punk comes to life in the most obnoxious and over-the-top way possible, and you can't help but be like, wait a minute, is he also subtly awesome on top of being obnoxiously punk?
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're still annoyed, but you still get it.
That's style right there. Both visually impossible to miss style and how he's animated, and also just, god dang it, like you're as someone who's trying to be cool and is. That's not right.
I know. Like I felt like I felt like early in the movie I was like, I better hate this guy.
Yeah. He's trying so hard to be cool. The fact that he succeeded is unreasonable.
And unfair. And I think Miles feels that way in the movie, too.
He's just so over the top rebel. Like, I'm against everything. And it's like, that's stupid. He's like, I'm against everything. You're like, well, now it's cool. He said it twice.
Exactly.
And the second time was so much more heartfelt. And now I'm in it. I'm on it with you. God dang it. Yeah, you should hate Spider-Punk. You won't.
Then you're like, you're right, Spider-Punk.
You're right.
Burn
it all down.
Burn
Anarchy.
it down.
No future.
Yeah.
You're supposed. You should hate him, and you won't. You will not hate Spider-Punk. He's too cool.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. I was gonna say some things that aren't in the movie, but I guess that's also technically a spoiler.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it. I like the promise. See, I think. I was going to say season 3. It's not a show. I think the third movie... I do wonder, though, if the animation jump is going... I mean, I don't know if it's possible.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's possible. And I also think if it's coming out so soon, probably, like you said, it's like they made these two movies together, like one project. So I don't think you should expect... But it was I think it was a pretty substantial jump from first to second movie in terms of animation quality. Mm-hmm. Like, they really have leaned into this... throwing in completely different styles of animation on screen together. Mm-hmm. So if the third movie is even just the same as this, it will still be a spectacle.
Every review I've looked up and everything, and I looked it up after we got the movie. I was looking at the budget because I said earlier the first movie was made for $90 million and looks amazing. The first movie obviously looks amazing. This movie's only made with 10 more million and looks like 300 million compared to the first movie. It's like, wow. And also, just like we've seen a couple different, like I don't know if there's going to be how many more universes might be shown in the third movie, but the few we got in this, drastically different art styles. So they still could have different art styles for different universes that we haven't seen before yet. Or they might, for a third movie, it might be smarter just to be like, all right, what are the assets I have, and just cluing in on those specific assets instead of trying to do more new stuff. Like, I don't know if this is going to be the movie in the trilogy that's like supposed to blow it out, and then the third movie is supposed to bring it back in, or if the third movie is going to be like, we're going to blow it out some more blowout. But yes, I'm excited, and I think I'm going to call it now, thinking Across the Spider-Verse is going to win Best Animated Movie at the Oscars this year. Or next year, I guess, because it'll be next year when the next Oscars comes. But it's going to win. I'm sorry, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I know you wanted it. I'm sorry, Pixar. Pixar's in trouble.
No, well, hold on. Pixar does amazing work. Okay.
They do amazing work.
Yeah.
But the movie they got coming out, we saw a trailer for it, Elemental.
Right.
That's not it.
It's funny. I've seen like a meme that was like, what Pixar does is they pick something and they go, what if that thing had feelings?
Yeah.
They go, what if toys had feelings?
What if feelings had feelings?
And so and it's like they know this. Like, apparently they know that, and they just lean into it. And so they're like, what if elements had feelings?
Yeah. I just like Pixar does like.
Does Pixar ever do a bad job though? Like,
no.
It'll be a good movie. Probably it'll just be a good movie.
It'll be good.
Yeah, it's just.
But it's not gonna look. It's like Pixar. I think over the years has been getting more and more realistic, and I think it's probably starting to get towards. Even though this elemental, like they're dealing with elements, it's like they're trying to make the water people look the most water.
Right.
They're trying to make the fire people look the most fire. Whereas this is like Spider-Verse throws out.
Yeah.
Sense.
Okay, so I feel like maybe Pixar is kind of like what they're trying to change up movie to movie is what they're drawing, but not how they draw it.
Mm.
So that there is always a similarity in the visual style, and so yeah, you could maybe say that they're not, and so like maybe when they pick some weird subject like emotions or elements, they're trying to pick something new to draw so that it's unique in that way. Mm. But if they were just drawing things differently, that would make it more unique. Yeah, so it's like. It's sort of samey.
But in Spider-Verse, like, they don't give a flip shot from shot. Like,
yeah.
One shot will look one way, the next shot's going to look drastically different just because they want to.
Like, even just the tricks they do with frame rate, it's like a willingness to examine the basic mechanics of animation and use any one of those to change something and do something different.
And really push.
That A, nobody else is doing, and B, you're doing it multiple different ways in one movie on the screen at once.
I do think sometimes it is overwhelming, but I rather them overwhelm me and try to find the line or go past the line, because that's the way you get innovate. That's the way you do better. That's how you get the world to change, and animation's going to be changing. We gotta go. This show's over. We got like 2 minutes before the next commercial. So, a minute. So, alright, thank you guys for listening. If you did, you could subscribe to the YouTube channel, Evan Nerd Show, because that's where the replay is going to be. I still got to post some of last week's episode on YouTube. But also, the full episode without most of the music is going to be on Spotify sometime this week. I still don't have a set schedule like that, really. And you contact me at thatfnerd@gmail.com. This is 102.5 FM, Hot Springs, KUHS. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Let's all be effing nerds together. That's my new catchphrase for today, at least. And we'll see you next week!